Okay, for this next part, we're going just in case you have closed and reopened this document, sometimes you got to remember that this mask won't show up if when Revit opens new all the time, or when it does, the mask elements will be unselected, so they'll be invisible. Just a little reminder if you can't see your mask element. So let's go ahead now and start up Dynamo. It's under the Manage tab. And for this clip, we're going to just panelize the surface, find centers of the panels, and then the surface normals for those panels. So I've already created a blank document. I call it Unfold Video, but you could just make a new one. I'm just going to go into this just so I don't keep overwriting files. And so I have a blank document, and we'll go ahead and start doing the needed tasks to get our form into the Dynamo mode. So we'll select a face. We'll use the tool, select a face. And while we're here, we'll just go ahead right away and grab the lunchbox element. And I'll do that not by searching it. I'll just go right to lunchbox, go to geometry, go to panels, and go get the panel quad. And what I'll do is I'll get the triangle panel too. But I'll just leave it, we'll just leave that off to the side so it reminds us that we want to come back to that. So we'll plug our surface into here. We're going to just start out simple with the amount of panels. So I'm going to use a number tool, and we'll just start with 5. That'll be 25 panels because we're going to make them equal in the U and V. And we don't have a surface selected yet. So let's go ahead and do that right away. So we'll go select. I'll close this down and we'll grab that surface, and then that's automatically divided that off. And we'll go back to Dynamo, and I'll zoom out here a little bit so we can see we've got our form, and underneath it we have our panelized elements. So if I take the face off, I have to click on that sometimes to get that hand to disappear. And I'll just take the preview off for the form. So now we have our panelized surface ready to come up with a strategy to find the center of the panels. And I found out that the panel is a surface, and I didn't find a tool for finding a center point on a surface, but there is for the center of a polygon. So I'm going to grab the polygon center. And it's down here. There's my mouse. And I have panels which are surfaces. I can't feed them in, but I have the points. And if we were to look, and we'll just go through and maybe give you an idea what's going on here. Grab a watch box. I want you to be able to see what the points are that come out of here. And what they are, they're a list. There are 100 points. And if you think about it, there's 25 panels, and each panel has 4 points. So that's where we get 100 points. But it is a list of lists. So each one is a discrete list of the 4 points of each panel. So if we feed these points into our polygon, did I pick the right tool? I think I picked, I'm sorry. We don't have a polygon yet, but we can make a polygon from points. Let's see where that one is. Polygon points. By points. If I feed polygon by points, and I feed, so it's 25 sets of 4 points each. We'll just look at that quickly. And we get this list of now 25 polygons. And if we feed that polygon into there, we're going to, and I'll pull this, keep moving this over. Pull the watch box into here. And if we highlight that, you'll see all the blue dots go on to indicate the center of each one of those polygon panels. And that's also going to work when we go to the idea of 3-point system of a triangular shape. So we'll be good to go as we continue to move along in that mode. Now let me just jump over to my definition again. Give me a second here while I zoom back in. Now the next part we need to do is we have the idea of the center point of each panel. And the goal here is we're going to find the center, take that center point and create a normal. A normal is a vector that goes perpendicular to the plane at that specific UV position on a panel. Maybe we'll cover that a little more in lecture, but it'll be relatively clear as we start to work with this. I'm going to look for surface normal, and it's at a point that we want it. So we have all of our points, and we have our surface. If we go back over, then we have our panel surfaces. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go all the way back to the other one. So we have a list of 25 surfaces, and we have 25 center points. Remember, now we're only picking the point that's in the center, and you can see down in this corner here that we only have 25 center points. So if we're to pull this into here now, this watch box is 25 vectors that are going to be leaving that point in a direction that is normal to the to that point and the surface that it's touching. So the next thing we want to do is we have surface normal at a point. We want to make a plane there. Plane by origin normal, I believe it is. All right, so we have the vector is the normal, and the origin is that point. And if you look now, we have all of those points as, let's just zoom in on one of them so you could see it specifically. So we have a plane around that point that's parallel or coincident to that surface, and you can see this line is the vector coming up. So in order now to get all of our points to land flat on a surface, all we've got to do is rotate them till the surface normal is in the Z direction. And Revit has, or excuse me, Dynamo has a method of doing that very easily, and we're going to start to explore that in the next video clip.